When politics meets power and rhetoric crosses border, the law becomes the last guardian of peace. Good day, everyone, and welcome to another captivating episode of Bar Unleashed, where the law meets the society. I am your host, Orishanike Arogundade, and as always, Bar Unleashed is where we take the law off the pages of textbooks and into real-life conversations, where we decode the law, discuss national and global issues, and help you understand how legal frameworks shape the world we live in. Now, today's topic has been making waves across international and global media. The reported intent by the US President Donald Trump to invade Nigeria and his remarks labeling the country as a country of concern, allegedly for the killing of Christians. This has sparked heated debates across Nigeria, the diaspora, and diplomatic circles, raising serious legal, political, and moral questions. So today, we'll be asking, what are the legal implications of such statements or threat under international law? Does any foreign leader have the legal right to threaten or plan an invasion of a sovereign country or nation? What can Nigeria lawfully do in response under international law and diplomacy? And what does this mean for our international image and human rights records? To help us unpack these crucial issues, I have two brilliant and well-versed legal minds joining me, Barrister Lekan and Barrister Hananiya. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity for having us around. For the purpose of record, I am A.O. Olalekan, and I'm here to discuss this issue with my learned friend.
Thank you for having me on the show. My name is Barrister Hananiya, and I'm happy to be on the show.
So to begin, Barrister Lekan, can you help our listeners understand, under international law, what does it mean when a foreign leader threatens to invade another sovereign country?
Well, it all depends from what angle we are seeing it. However, the word threatening does not speak well of any international country to threaten other country. By virtue of the United Nations Charter, which guides the affairs of international organizations, that guides the affairs of countries under UN Charter. By virtue of Article 2, Sub 4 of UN Charter, every nation has what we call territorial integrity, wherein no nation has what it takes to invade, to threaten, or in any way attack other country, except on some grounds which some conditions must be fulfilled. And as such, for United Nations President to make such a statement, it really speaks volume.
Wow.
It's really a lot.
It's a lot.
When we look at it from the legal angle, sincerely, it cannot stand the test of time.
Okay.
And we just have to look at other conditions attached to those statements and the likelihood of the outcome of such statements.
All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Imagine you're in your house, to put it into perspective, actually. Imagine you're in your house and then your neighbor from his balcony kind of point at your house and shout that if you don't run your house the way I want you or the way I feel you should, I'll come in by force. Well, in international law, that's actually very insulting to your house, number one. And number two, in international law, is actually seen as a very serious threat. Just like my colleague has rightly mentioned here, threats like this are not taken lightly. We have what we call the United Nations Charter. It is deemed as the constitution for global peace. And then one of the core driving factors of the United Nations Charter is the recognition of the sovereignty that exists between, that every country has sovereignty, the ability of the country to be able to carry on its business without any form of foreign interference. Now, when a president of a country as big as America makes statements like that, it's the world does not just fold its hands and just look at them. It's not just a mere threat. The international society treats it as an actual invasion itself, the singular act of just threatening is being taken as the actual invasion itself. Yes. And then the reason is very, very simple. The entirety order of the world is resting on one golden rule, that every country should respect the sovereignty of each and every country. Yes.
So that will lead me to the next question, that does President like Donald Trump have any legal standing or authority to make such threats on behalf of the United States? Or are these viewed merely as personal political options? Because he made that statement, is it viewed that he made it personally, or it was made on behalf of the United States? Or how do you view that statement?
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you go through the international treaties, starting from the United Nations Charter, going to the NATO treaties, and various other international treaties, if you go through them, there's no justification whatsoever for the threats that has been given. There's no legal background for the President of the United States to make that kind of threat. The only exceptions which we have, of which he can actually make that kind of statement or threaten invasion or actually invade Nigeria, is when Nigeria actually threatens to invade America. So in the defense of America, America can actually do that as a form of defensive mechanism. We also have situation and instances where the Security Council of the United Nations will actually give clearance to the United States when they view the entire situation and get to see that, okay, it's justiciable for the United States to actually invade Nigeria and things like that. And then thirdly, if Nigeria has tried and seen that there's nothing that they could do about the rising insecurity in the country, and then Nigeria solely on their own decided to approach the United States and be like, see, we've tried all the possible things that we can, and it seems like the situation is beyond our control. Can you kindly step into the atmosphere and then help us with this entire situation? These are some of the justifications in which the President of the United States can, or the United States in general, can actually think of invading into Nigeria. And then talking about the threats, whether it's just mere political opinions or mere opinions that is just held by the leader. Politicians talk and we consider them as mere opinions. But then when an international personality like the President of the United States talk, nations adjust. People don't just shrug. Nations don't just shrug and then kind of shake it off like it's just a mere opinion. Alliances get changed. Economic decisions, very strong economic decisions are being made within period like that. I'm even surprised, if not for the fact that our economy is, especially our stock market in Nigeria, is a little bit ironclad. I'm even surprised. If not, within the past 2 weeks.
No, it actually affected the stock market. Yes, actually Nigerian stock dropped. Actually, it actually did affected the stock market. Yes,
actually. So these are some of the counter effects of statements and threats like that coming from a president of the United States, who is also viewed as an international personality.
Yeah.
Well, I think my Leonard friend had actually captured it all. And the question that was posed was the fact that can the President of the United States make such a threat or a threat statement? So, well, we can say he had the power to do that, but whether it's legal or illegal,
okay,
it's what we can now
comes into context.
So in this regard, he had no tangible reasons or the conditions that are meant to be met before such a statement is made have not been met. So as such, well, as I actually said, when such statement is made by persons of international recognition, it shakes table. Because a lot of things comes to play. The likes of the economy, as I had rightly said, even it leads to cutting off aids and even sanctions may come in, as the case may be. So all those things come to play when such statements are made, even if they are made illegal.
Wow, or carelessly.
Carelessly, very well. It could be as a result of other things, but such statements being made goes a long way, and even the effect among Nigerians, how Nigerians were like, hey, we don't know when Trump is coming, we don't know, all those kind of things. They really spark some level of fear and put some kind of things among the citizens in the country. So we cannot carelessly take the words as if it's nothing. It's a lot, but nevertheless, from the legal angle, it holds no water, except the needfuls are done.
Okay. That was insightful. So, from a legal and diplomatic perspective, how seriously should Nigeria take such statement? And can such remark have real consequences in the international space?
Well, as we have just said, of course, from the legal angle, the needful had not been done. And as such threats may not really hold water.
So Nigeria doesn't need to actually do anything?
Yeah, we need not to, and we need to at the same time.
Okay.
Because as we rightly said, as my learned friend rightly said, when such statement is coming from such angle, and when I say such angle, I mean a president of the United States of America making such a statement, even if it had no legal weight, the political implication, the economic implication, and other things that follows really speaks volume. And as such threat shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yes.
We shouldn't take it seriously. The needful needs to be done in the sense that Nigeria as a country needs to see to what could be done to lessen the effect of such a statement on the economy, on the political space, even from it degenerating to the actual act, because it was a threat that was made, action had not been taken. So once such threats were made, Nigerians or the Nigerian government, those in authority, are meant to not just take it for its carelessness, but do the needful by doing some diplomatic activity, sending down diplomats to engage the government of the United States. What happened? Why do you do this? Okay, it would have been a mistake. Your perception is not right about Christians being killed and all of that. And thank God, Nigerians really helped in the situation. Why?
Okay, why?
A lot of people came out, a lot of respected elders and respected personalities in the country came out to debunk such insinuation. Fine, there's no dispute about the fact that there are issues in Nigeria.
Of course,
genocide, there are a lot of killings. But the thing is, now turning it to be some specific persons, or like, being going towards the religion line will really go a long way to affect things. So generally, Nigerians are suffering from such, and we really need help. That's the truth. We need help. But such help should not be coined in a line
in the way it termed it
to break the image or to portray Nigeria in such an image, because such really goes a long way to affect us in several ways.
It's already affecting us, because whether we like it or not, the stock market.
One of the things I went ahead with it was cutting off aid to Nigeria, and even affecting some diplomatic movement, and even some people are denying the visa as a result. Like we had even well, I wouldn't know whether it's specific because of this, but like about 80 Africans or 800 or something like that were like their visas were rejected because of happenings in Africa, and such reasons should not be far-fetched from this from the threat that was made. Wow. So all those things really go along and they play along. So a lot of things will be affected, and as such, despite the fact that such statements, such threats do not hold legal water, needful or right steps should be taken by the Nigerian government to curb the effect on the economy, on the social angle, and even from the political terrain. So that's my view on that.
Yes, just like my colleague has rightly said, I agree with him totally, especially on the implication of the statement that was made by the President of the United States. Whether we like it or not, there are lots of countries that are already rethinking their diplomatic alliances with Nigeria. There are other international organizations and different countries that we are receiving foreign aid from that are already rethinking whether or not to continue bankrolling Nigeria in the line of economic aid to help us with some things within the country. And then again, there are other businessmen that are thinking of investing within Nigeria and everything. So there's this agitation within them that what if I invest in Nigeria now and then it happens in the next 6 months that the United States turn Nigeria into what Libya currently is right now, that it's very dysfunctional right now. So I mean, definitely it's going to create that fear within the minds of investors. And then when they don't invest in Nigeria, one way or the other, it gets to affect our economy. Yes, so that's it.
All right, let's talk about national sovereignty. Under the United Nations Charter, every nation is considered sovereign. Can you explain what this means and how this principle protects Nigeria against any form of foreign aggression?
Okay, so sovereignty is like the crown jewel of international relation or international law generally. So sovereignty simply means a country having the right to conduct its business without interference from any other nation. I think to further explain sovereignty, I think I'll take us down the line of history. If you remember, there's the League of Nations that came in after the World War One.
Yes.
And I mean, if you consider some of the happenings in the World War One, so nations decided that they should come together and kind of bring in a system whereby countries are going to respect the corporate existence of each other. But then the League of Nations was not able to keep the world peace. Hence, the World War II broke out. Yes, and if you go through documentaries and see some of the things that happened during the World War II, it's a very scary sight of what actually happened during the World War II. And so after the World War II in 1945, 50 nation states decided to come again once more in order to see that they come up with a system that is going to keep the world peace. And one of the core foundation of this their meeting is the ability of every country to get to respect the sovereignty of one country of one country and the other. That country A should allow country B to be able to conduct its business the way country B actually wants to do its own business. So that is where the entire concept of sovereignty actually came into being. So as to the question of how does this concept of sovereignty get to protect Nigeria, is simple. If you trace back to the explanation and the divination I made, it's already protecting Nigeria in the sense that if you go through section 2 sub 4, or let me say article 2 sub 4 of the United Nations Charter, just like my colleague has rightly mentioned, that no country should threaten or no country should actually enter and invade into the territory of another country. So it's that particular article in the United Nations Charter has already provided a coverage. It has already provided a form of protection for not just Nigeria, but by extension, other countries that are signatories to this very particular United Nations Charter and the rest. So with that, actually, Nigeria is actually covered, and the concept of sovereignty actually covers Nigeria. So it's wrong in all facets for any country, not even as mighty as the United States of America, to threaten to invade or even to actually invade. Yes.
Oh, well, I think in addition to what my Leonard friend had said, also Article 2 of and subsection 1 of United Nations Charter also speaks about sovereignty, and which is just about prevention of external aggression
Okay.
or external interference in the affairs of a country. So the essence is all nations, all countries of the world are sovereign. They are on their own. They can determine how they run their affairs without somebody poking nosing into their affairs, without somebody telling them you must do it.
Like this.
And one of the essence of this is during colonialism, none of the countries being colonized had sovereignty because they are being controlled by external nations. As Nigeria had it before 1960 when we had independence, the Queen of England determines the affairs in the country. But today, our affairs is being determined
our government
by the president and the house. So we have the red chamber, the green chambers at the federal level, and we have the governor and the House of Assembly at the state level. So now we enjoy that sovereignty by virtue of we being a member and a signatory to the UN Charter, which says all nations that is a member of the United Nations as what we call sovereignty, they can determine without somebody dictating the tone of things for them. And this goes to the roots of a nation, because one of the factors that determines the existence of a nation is sovereignty. The moment a country lacks sovereignty, it's nothing.
There's nothing again.
It's nothing. It cannot even be called a country.
Yes.
So now the threat of invasion, it's eating into the essence of our existence as a nation. And sincerely, when we get to the stage, I think we'll discuss it. Why we need our Nigerians, our brothers to understand some factors, because
and the
we
implications
don't
of
just
that.
do things as if we don't know what is happening. No, it's not. Because the root of our existence as a country
It relies
is
on
sovereignty.
this.
So if you're now calling on others to come and take over, that means you are no more a nation.
And it's even funny because you even see Nigerian that's like, come, Trump, come, oh, come, oh,
Funny
come. But they
enough,
want you to
educated
come.
ones,
Even
educated ones are even making such a reckless,
come,
dangerous statement.
Like,
Dangerous statement.
I guess it's because
Probably
they
don't know
don't
the
understand
implication.
the legal
Sincerely
implication, and
speaking,
that's why
those-
we are here to actually delve into all this.
Very well, very well.
All right. So okay. Are there any exceptions under international law that permit one nation to intervene militarily in another country's internal affairs? For instance, in cases of alleged human rights violation or religious persecution.
Well, I think this question has actually been answered. But let me be specific about it.
All right.
Well, there are exceptions to the general rule of non-invasion, no threat, and the sovereignty. And one of the exceptions is in a situation whereby the country in question itself seeks the help, assistance of any other country.
Like we are the one that actually need you to come and help us.
Boko Haram had been disturbing us for the past, let's say, I can't tell specifically, but let's say 12, 15 years. They've been with us.
Yes.
We cannot
handle it anymore.
These people. Can you please come and help us? So in such situation, they consented to others coming. And in that situation, it will not really be an invasion, but rather it will be a conjoined activity of the country that is helping with the nation that come for the help.
Oh, so sorry. I think something like that happened. The Chibok girls. I think there was a time during the Chibok girls incident, they actually sought for help.
Very well.
For help
Very
that
well.
they came.
Very
Because I think I can remember else. Okay,
Very
so
well.
that one is ahead.
That's correct. And even this is not the first time countries ask for help, assistance in the situation to surmount some challenges. So it's just natural for you to say, oh, please, I need help. It's like a friend saying, oh, guy, can you just let me this till this comes? That's just natural. So in such a situation, the country had consented, and by that virtue, it has a right. It has an exception to the general rule. So in that situation, it won't be an invasion, and it's not a threat. But rather, it's an assistance being rendered. And we have had situations where we have peacekeeping in several African countries. Even Nigeria had been a big brother to many African nations, Liberia, to keep peace. So it's natural for you to seek help when circumstance like that brings about it. That's one of the exceptions. Another exception is the Article 51 of the UN Charter that talks about self-defense.
Okay.
If a country should invade other countries or should even engage in an activity which is anathema to the UN Charter or that violates international law, other country can retaliate. Well, what are you doing within my territory? And that's one thing that is currently happening within former USSR, that's Russia and Ukraine.
Ukraine, yes.
It's about invasion of some portions of and they're still there. So we're in a situation where a country invades illegally or steps into the territory of the other country to carry out some illegal activity that violates the international treaty, then the other can retaliate by virtue of Article 51 of UN Charter. And another situation I can bring about that is, I think that's Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, where the United Nations Security Council consents to such an act.
Okay.
So, you know, for instance, now it's becoming a genocide, as an example. It's becoming a genocide or an activity that it's against humanity. An offense against humanity. Then the UN Council can come on board.
And they will unanimously
agree that, okay, at this juncture, we need to intervene to ensure that the crime against humanity is prevented. And we had expected that in the case of Gaza and Palestine. You can imagine thousands of lives that were lost. And funny enough, nothing happened.
Nothing is happening.
So it's even funny when Donald Trump is threatening Nigeria that, okay, there's genocide against Christianity. And when there were crimes happening there in Gaza, in Palestine. And even this said United States is supporting
They are
Israel.
involved, they are
They are not.
supportive.
They are the ones supplying the ammunitions, and nothing happened. So it's untenable. We cannot even comprehend such an act here when the whole genocide is going on there. Nobody came to die, even when the international court made a pronouncement against Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. He was there at UN assembly. Nothing happened. He was not arrested, and there's a pronouncement. So it's now showing that UN is becoming a toothless bulldog that can only bark but cannot bite because its effect is being downplayed. So in that situation, those are the exceptions that can be explored for there to be an invasion. Let me put it that way, if you can call it an invasion. But really, in that situation, it will be an invasion. Rather, it will be an assistance or to restore peace or to restore the normal course of dealings or activity in a country. So that's my view about that. That's my opinion.
Okay. And furthermore, after checking all the boxes that my colleague has rightly mentioned, the UN Security Council confirmation, the defense of territory, and thirdly, the consent. Even after checking all these three boxes, I think the United States Congress also needs to give its approval before the United States can actually move into
not just
any
from the
country.
president alone.
Yes. The Congress needs to actually give its express approval for the country to actually go on that kind of expedition. So that's that. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, interesting. So now the claim labeling Nigeria as the country of concern for allegedly killing Christians has also drawn attention. What legal or diplomatic weight does such a designation carry, and how might it affect Nigeria's global relation?
Okay. This is the catch here. The United States has an act that we call the United States Religious, I think the United States Religious Independence Act, something of that nature. Yes. So that kind of act actually, that law kind of enabled them to kind of step in when there's crisis, especially when it has to do with impeding on religious freedom of a particular group of people in a particular country. But then this is the bigger picture. It is a root disconnection from what the provision of the United Nations Charter is actually saying. Because if you're labeling a country of particular concern, what can you do to remedy the particular situation of the country you're labeling a country of particular concern? So it means that you're trying to find a way to threaten the invasion of that country, or threaten to, through the use of the power that you have economically and on the international space, in order to boss the country into submission, into dancing into your tone and your will.
When it comes into when you are saying
yes, if you go, there's a celebrated case in 1986 in the International Court of Justice, Nicorovia against the United States of America. I think the International Court was of the opinion that it is wrong in all facets for a particular country to use diplomatic means, especially by way of threats, in order to get an independent and a sovereign state to dance into its tune. Yes, just exactly what America is actually trying to do to Nigeria right now. So that's it. So speaking about the implication that labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern, I think we've actually spoken about that. But then it will be worthy if we reiterate again, because if you look at it very well, we've said that it's actually going to affect the international ties that we have with other countries. Is going to make investors to get to rethink their investment decision. Nobody will want to invest millions of dollars or even billions of dollars into the oil refinery in Nigeria, and then boom, after 6 months or after a year, the United States has already taken over the country, and then what happens? The country turned into shambles, just like what we have in Libya, just like when we were explaining the plight of Libya here. So these are some of the implications that labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern actually has on the country.
Wow, thank you.
Well, in addition to that, my brother has spoken well, and I really commend him on that. I think there is still this International Religious Freedom Act. And by virtue of that act, I think United States of America has a right, because it's more or less like a personal decision to, okay, by virtue of this, they have a right to say, okay, we categorize the country of this in their own domain. They have the power to say, okay, this is a country of concern, and the essence of it is, okay, it's a country of concern. Our allies be aware of what you do with them. Those are the implications.
Okay.
My allies be aware. American citizens be aware of what transactions you carry out with them, or even your investment there. Be careful. Those are the messages. So they have a right to designate a country of particular concern within their domestic law. It's their right.
Within their domestic law.
Of course, it's their right. So, but the implication is that United States, you can imagine the weight it carries in the world. So, when it says a country is CPC, a country of particular concern, it speaks volume. All other countries, allies to them, even investors, they'll be worried and careful that, before you engage in anything with them, be careful. Because this country has been labeled country of particular concern. But they have the right to do that under the religious International Religious Freedom Act, to do that if they perceive that such genocide or an act is being done against a particular faith, which is still within their right. But the implication on us is just that it brings a lot of diminish in our economic activity, because a lot of people will be very careful in investing in Nigeria, and even trying to cut ties or trying to sever some even business relationship with us. So that's that about the issue of CPC.
Wow.
So if only it has actually stopped at just labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern, then there will be no problem. Nigeria is not the first country to actually be labeled as a country of particular concern. But then going further to make statements like we are going in gun ablaze, and then we'll go in and come out before you know it, and stuffs like that, it's already a direct threat to the sovereignty of the particular country. So that is actually what's giving us a particular worry, not just labeling Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's no issue to label Nigeria as a country of particular concern, but threatening our sovereignty, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Interesting. So, would you say Nigeria has mechanisms under its domestic or international obligations to demonstrate its commitment to human rights and religious freedom, thereby countering such accusations diplomatically?
Very well, that's correct. Nigeria does.
Okay.
We have Nigeria is a signatory to international human rights.
Okay.
And as such, Nigeria has the onus of protecting the rights of every nation. And by virtue of our constitution, Nigeria is a secular state. Nigeria is a secular state. Everyone, it's not even about Christianity, about Islam.
Yes.
Even if you want to practice our forefathers' religion, what do we call it? Traditional religion. You have the right to choose. And of recent, you will see that states are even given holidays for traditional
they are being recognized now.
They are being recognized.
Yes.
So I don't think we've had issues as to religion. Everyone had the right to practice religion. And I don't think any institution of the government had been put in place to prevent somebody, a group, a tribe, or a nation. When I say a nation, I mean probably, we have about 320 nations in Nigeria. Tribes.
Yeah, tribes, rather. Okay.
So I don't think any institution is in place to ensure or to prevent a tribe, a group of persons from practicing the religion of their choice. But they have done that. The issue of insecurity that be happening, yes, we talk about the Middle Belt, Benue Plateau, but don't forget also, we've had this issue in Borno even far before that. We've had this issue in Samfara. It is there in Kaduna.
Even in Kogi State, so is affected.
There, and now bringing it or painting it with a religious coloration would not do us any good.
Yes.
It will only cause division, issues among us. So there are laws in place. As far as our constitution is concerned, it protects the right of every individual and right to freedom of association. can decide to be a Christian today. Even come down to Southwest here. Funny enough, Southwest is a very practical example. Hardly you see a family in Southwest that you now have Muslims and Christians.
Yes.
Hardly.
I've even seen people that practice you see, I've seen people that go to church, they say they are Christian, but they still do traditional.
Hardly you will see in Southwest without seeing people of different religion from the same family.
Even personally, when it comes to marriage, I'm so sorry. I used to laugh at us. I'll say, oh, we don't like doing traditional. But you see in Nigeria, they will do court wedding. That traditional wedding is, hey,
Yes,
it's so key to them. So I've just laughed like, oh, so, you now think you're not practicing your custom.
So given our problems, the religion coloration is not really.
It's not.
Sincerely speaking, yes, we have a problem. We're not denying that fact. There's a problem. If we want to tackle the problem, let's tackle it as it is. Yeah. But giving it a tribal, a religious coloration would only cause a division among us. So there are rules, there are regulations, there are laws, both internationally, locally, that guard against preventing people from doing the needful, that protect the right of every individual to associate with any association he or she wishes, and to also practice any religion of his or her choice. It's a secular state. And I don't think the state had adopted any religion as a state.
No. That's why in court they will ask you now, which one are you practicing?
Very well in court.
They'll ask you, are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you a traditional?
If you're a Christian, they give a Bible to swear with. If you're a Muslim, they give a Quran. The Fulani is also, like as I said earlier, when a banditry occurred somewhere or there's an activity of bandits, people tend to say the Fulanis are the bandits. I think we're getting things wrong and we need to get things right. You see, by the time we personalize an atrocity to a tribe, a religion, we are causing division. And those divisions might go a long way to haunt us. So let's call a spade a spade. If there's an atrocity, if there's an illegal action and an activity that is unbecoming of a society, let's call it what it is. And whoever is involved, let's bring the person out. But now tag naming or tagging a particular sect, a particular tribe, or a particular region as the persons that commit such will only cause further damage. Nigeria is a very volatile society. Very volatile. And we need to be very careful and jealously guard our unity. So please, this orientation of saying, yes, the Fulanis are the bandits, please, let's deal with it. Because it will go a long way to further divide the society. And that's the prayer of the international community, that we like it or not. That's what they want. Because the moment Nigeria is united and we are free of terrorism for even, I think I was even watching a video recent. I think from one elder in the past, was it 1960 video? He was saying that if Nigeria, the international community knows that if Nigeria should enjoy peace for 20 years without terrorism or any act, we will develop. And they don't want that.
They don't want that.
So they are doing everything possible to create one issue or the other. To create one issue.
It's like divide and rule.
Just to ensure that there's no peace.
Yeah.
Because if Nigeria can enjoy consecutive peace for 20 years without issue, sincerely speaking, they will know there's a country.
Yes.
So we need to be very careful about statements or actions so as not to aid indirectly, because some of us do not even know these are implanted by some organizations. We don't know. But we will be indirectly supporting, aiding their objective of not wanting a unified or a peaceful Nigeria. So let's caution ourselves. The truth is, as we have said, there is killings in Nigeria illegally. Muslims, Christians, even Abalis are affected. All tribes are affected, but majorly the middle belt, the northerners, are the most affected person. Also, we have the IPOB here in the southeast.
Yes.
So it's also here in the south, though their own activity is minimal. So please, don't let us start tag naming people as, it is this religion, it is this tribe, it is this. It will only cause further rancor, further division, and we will never get what we want with that. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. That was highly insightful and engaging. So now that takes us to the next question. What step can Nigeria take through its Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the United Nations to address or challenge such allegations on the global stage?
Okay. I think the first step that Nigeria is supposed to take is through its foreign embassy and through
Okay.
the high commissioners that we have and ambassadors that we have. They
Okay.
should get to draw the attention of the United States and ask possible questions like, what went wrong? Why didn't you bring this to my attention? Why am I just finding out what you're saying right now on the media? Of course, I believe before now, there's a cordial relationship that exists between Nigeria and the US. And so the president of the United States just coming on air and making such allegations without getting to at least speak to Nigeria, or maybe through our ambassadors and the rest, it doesn't make any sense. So it will be very important that the first, through our embassies, through our diplomats, we get to have a roundtable meeting with the president of the United States or representative of the United States to get to know what the problem is and to find a way to address it. If that does not work, we can further escalate the issue to the United Nations Security Council, because the United States Security Council is there. It's more like it plays a watchdog role for countries that are signatories to the United Nations Charter. Yes. And we can equally further escalate same to the General Assembly of the United Nations. So that is it. I will have said something like if the United Nations Security Council does its own research concerning the entire thing and finds out that the US is actually wrong for making that kind of allegations. Naturally, they are supposed to impose sanctions, trade sanctions and the rest. But then that's only in existence in theory. If we are going to face it, in reality, would really the United Nations place sanction on the United States of America? I don't see that happening.
Well, I think to help you answer that question, they can.
Oh,
But
really?
of what effect?
Effect is it?
I think that's the question we should ask. I cited the example the other time. Netanyahu, the prime minister
Yes,
of
of
Israel,
Israel.
sanctioned. There was an order against him that he should be arrested. He was at UN National Assembly. He was at the assembly.
And nothing
He gave a
happened.
speech. Who arrested him?
Oh,
Because
he
he had
even still made a speech.
Of course, he delivered a speech. He delivered a speech, though many representatives of other countries walked out. But the thing is, for him to even come down and such an order of international court was not effected on him, then we will sanction it.
No.
That's why I said UN had become more or less like a toothless bulldog that only bite. But cannot even bite. Does it even have a teeth to bite? What are the teeth? America is the teeth. And the teeth is now active.
Wow. So except that he wants to bite itself and he cannot bite itself.
Though it's not only America, the UN Security Council as a whole. But America poses a very serious
position.
A very serious, not really position, because by virtue of the UN Charter, all nations are equal. Among equality, more animals are more equal
all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the other.
So, but because we need to me, I even question why only 5 countries out of about 190 countries we have in the world are members of UN Security Council. Why? What is the criteria they use to measure it?
Oh, only 5 countries.
Only 5. US, UK, France, Russia, and China. Only them. So what happens to others? So a lot of things need to be questioned. A lot of things, and of recent, even Africa was pushing that at least Africa as a continent should have a member.
At least one African country.
And that's what Nigeria is even pushing that, okay, being the giant, being the big brother in Africa, there should be a member. And those are one of the factors that even give rise to all this. They are inevitable. So, as my brother had rightly said, I really commend those points. One of the ways we can actually get this resolved, to me, I wouldn't support a situation whereby we should even send a delegate, because they've molested us at first. Respect is reciprocal. If you could come out and say you want to invade, for what? There was no prior discussion, no prior notice. Just wake up one day and say you want to. For what? We're a sovereign nation, for crying out loud. We are not a kid. We are not your children that you are feeding. For goodness sake. Fine. He could withdraw his aid. He could say, okay, we are not giving visa to Nigerians and the likes. He had that power. I'm not saying you want to come and invade us. Who are we? Are we your subordinate? Are we just No, it's really demeaning.
Demeaning.
Sincerely speaking, it's so demeaning for a nation, the whole giant of Africa. It's so demeaning. And I must say, though it may not go with everyone, I commend the fact that our president did not even make moves of saying, I want to quickly go and see him. Sincerely, well, a big brother should extend hands of courtship.
Yes.
If you are saying you are a big brother, we agree. But at least courtesy should come to play. It's so demeaning for him to just want to Abba for crying out loud.
Like,
we're a sovereign nation. We have our constitution, and we are running our affairs. So just waking up maybe on the wrong side of the bed and making a declaration. My brother already pointed out the point the other time that even a personal declaration does not hold anything. There must be a Congress approval. The Congress must
the US
sanction.
Congress, okay.
Yes, the US Congress must sanction before such an activity can be taken. Just wake up and declare one day.
He can't just declare it alone as the president of the United States.
So that's one of the grounds upon which we can get it resolved. Another thing is what we have done: public protests, calling international observers or neutral bodies to come and observe and give comments on the happenings, which had been a lot. That's why I commended Nigerians. Yes, even the elite circle. We have the likes of this Archbishop in Sokoto, Kuka.
Okay.
He came out, he said a lot of things. No, things are not done this way. There's no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Yes, there's a challenge. All those things speak volume and really help in downplaying the unnecessary outbursts by Trump. Because even when the Christians are coming out to debunk such, it speaks volume, and it goes a long way to regularize and put things in right shape. So that's another thing. And as like you said, we can also send delegations. And also another thing which my brother has said is writing to UN, either the Security Council or the Assembly, asking them to make a contrary announcement or
declaration.
A declaration that no, that's not the position. And even if anything will happen, coming to the aid of Nigeria. And as I said earlier, this issue to me, it's more political. So the moment Trump also see Russia coming down, China coming down to our head, of course, he must be very careful too. Though at the end of the day, it's not a good thing that such a thing happened. Because the effect will still be on us. Why?
Of course.
Because it will still be our country that will reap the fruit. In the sense that our citizens will be the victim, our land will be the victim, our resources
will be the
it's more or less like destabilizing the whole thing. See what is happening in Gaza. We have experienced.
We're even talking of Gaza. See Sudan, that is just beside us. We can see Sudan. It's terrible.
And another thing I think we can do under the international charter is going to court, international court, ask them to make an order to invoke this and that. But to what effect? Because even to me, the UN is just there for being there. You can imagine even Trump opening his arm, lambasting UN, who leads this UN organization? Who leads UN? He's lambasting the leader of
really?
UN.
Really? Okay.
So the general of UN. So who is he? Like a lot of, damaging derogatory words against him. And that was when the issue of Israel was happening. Israel and Gaza. They were condemning. It was sort of. So the UN had become a puppet. Like it's just there. It's just the name that is there. It has the honor that the privilege. Let me say the honor that it's deserved is no more there.
It's no more there.
And maybe because US had been financing practically 50% of UN activities. When it comes to aid, and it comes to this, that has always been US. So maybe because of that, took advantage of all those things. Like a lot of things comes to play in that regard. A lot of things comes to play in that regard. How do we even enforce the activities of the UN? How do we finance the UN?
All right. So looking beyond Trump's statement, what lesson can we draw about the importance of Nigeria maintaining a strong diplomatic posture and managing its internal human rights records?
We have a lot of lessons to learn from the outburst of United States President Donald Trump. Sincerely speaking, the truth is we have challenges.
Yes.
We have problems. And these problems have been with us for a long time. And we need to be practical and intentional about getting it resolved.
Okay.
Sincerely speaking, because we cannot keep wasting lives. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, human life in Nigeria is so useless.
We don't value human
that
life.
it's so valueless.
We
People don't even
value
attribute
human
any
life.
importance. Just people die before you know it. 20 people died here.
They
30
even put a slang to it. They say "pite." That thing used to like the way you put slangs to the normal thing. They
talking
say
about birds or animals, like human life. Before you know it, 20 people that were killed here. It has now become a normal thing. Like, for crying out loud, human life. So I don't know. And the Constitution had guaranteed human life. So human life, sincerely speaking, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what other thing is more useless than human life in Nigeria. Because we don't really care. Before you know it, bandit attack. 50 people died, 20 people died, and a reportage on daily basis. On daily basis. So sincerely speaking, in as much as Trump's outburst is illegal at no legal basis, it is really a wake-up call on Nigerian government and Nigerians as a whole. We need to take responsibility for our own lives. We need to challenge our leaders. We need to hold them responsible
and accountable.
Because we can't just keep living like this. No, it's not done anywhere. No developed nation keep killing its citizens. We are killing ourselves. And one funny thing is this: we are playing politics with human life. The truth is, we cannot say, like, I can't tell exactly, but a general once said that if a terrorism activity or a rioting or something in abnormal situation should go beyond 24 hours in any country, go and look at it very well. Government is involved. If government is not involved and officials or the power to be are involved, because we can't keep fooling ourselves. For how long? Who are those giving arms to Boko Haram? Those guys are stark illiterate.
And the kind of sophisticated
arms they have. Those sophisticated weapons. How are they even feeding? This cannot just be coordinated by those people. No. There's some involvement. Whether international organizations are there or the government officials are there, something must be behind them. So we need to take practical actions to provide lasting solutions. Because we cannot keep desecrating ourselves, keep killing, and we say we want to develop.
No.
It's not done anywhere. It doesn't. I don't know. It's happening elsewhere too. But no, Nigeria's case is on the high side. And this had been with us for a long time. So one of the lessons we learned is that we need to take responsibility, not just with word of mouth, with practical actions and results. We must put an end to it. We even had issues or stories of even when they know their location, they are even having meetings. Even some of them had parties. We have seen videos online everywhere that they even go for a name ceremony of their members. I was like, imagine bandits, and you will see them harmed. So you want to tell me, as they are communicating over the phone, the government, the security agencies don't have access to their communications?
Security agents that can,
access to their communications. So please, we need to be intelligent. We need to be practical. Human life are more valuable than just using it to play politics. Because to me, I see it as politics game, a political game among the political class. For how long do we keep sacrificing human lives for political gain? For how long? We should have a rethink. Those that are involved, we are calling on them. This nation is greater than anyone. This nation is higher than anyone, no matter what your interest is. The interest of over 250 million people
should be the most important.
Should be the most important thing to look at. So it is a wake-up call on our leaders, and not just leaders, the stakeholders. I want to talk about the stakeholders. We are talking about the powers to be. The powers to be, yes. This is Nigeria. We know what Nigeria is. the powers to be, please, let's come to the aid of Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, the less privileged are the one. Before you know it, if a politician is captured today, give it 3, 4, 5 days, they are released. They know the way they do it. But it's only the less privileged. They kill them. They're the victims of all these vices in the society. You know, see a high-class person, very minimal. And even if it happened within days, they get them released. But the less privileged, they had no millions to sacrifice. They had no family to speak for them. Are they wasting their life? So it's really a serious lesson for us. Things are not well with us, and let's be frank with ourselves.
Yes.
If America had said, come in Nigeria, we want to help you, let's join hands together, but you cannot trust America too.
Yes.
That's the truth. America cannot be trusted.
You can.
That's the truth.
That's
Why?
the truth.
Because we have seen samples of what they've done in other countries. But we really need help. If our armed forces are finding it difficult to get it achieved, if need be, the trusted hands should be engaged to get these issues resolved. We cannot keep going like this as a nation and expect any meaningful development. It's not done. It won't work. It cannot even work.
That's the reality.
That's the reality. So we need to provide a lasting solution, a practical, workable, tangible, and lasting solution to the problem of genocide, killing up and down, be it at the Middle Belt, be it in the North, be it the IPOB. No. Nobody can easily go to the North now these days. No. Even if you have an assignment there, that should be flights, you finish and you return. So please, these are lessons I felt this outburst of Donald Trump, the president of the United States, had actually brought to the nation, had really called for attention. And you see, as a result, even they've tightened up things these days.
Yes.
I don't know if you
I've
realize.
noticed, yes.
A change of this. You can now see that they are striking them from the air, which before we had
there was nothing like that.
Even before, we had stories that they would get to the place, they would just receive a command, don't strike them.
And they'll go back.
Yes.
Whoa.
We have had incidents, stories, we've even seen videos of such. That, do you want to tell me they don't know their location? The whole of Nigeria is not up to New York. What's our landmass? The whole of Nigeria is not up to New York. So you want to tell me they don't know what's happening? They don't know their location? So it's just pure politics, and we need to stop that. We need to be practical. We need to be serious with ourselves. And I felt this is what Trump is saying. Be serious with your people. Be serious as a nation. We cannot keep doing things like this. I'm saying, no. So please, those are the lessons I felt we should pick from the outburst of the president of the United States about the invading Nigeria, citing or using religious excuse for the outburst. So that's my opinion about that. I think my colleague will have something to say about it.
All right. Thank you. So, from a legal and ethical standpoint, how can citizens and the government institutions work together to ensure Nigeria's international reputation remains protected, especially the citizens? Because since the thing happened, you've been seeing citizens, they've just been like, Trump should come, like they're even bringing out more things instead of trying to protect the reputation, but I realize it's because they don't really understand the legal point of view. So,
flowing from the same stream that my colleague took off from, the truth of the matter is nobody is coming to save you. That's just the truth of the matter. Irrespective of whatever commentary other countries will be making that we are going to lend a hand of support and the rest, trust me, most of these commentaries and most of this support are laced with the foresight of economic benefit. Once these countries don't have anything to benefit from you, they won't even think about lending a hand of support to you. So it actually behooves on us as a nation, both private citizens, government organizations, international humanitarian organizations, and the rest, for us to get to put our hands together, have an introspect, ask ourselves some of the difficult questions that we've been avoiding. What is the common problem that is actually what is the common thing that is actually causing the problem that we are facing right now? I mean, it's something that is purely very obvious. but it's something that we've constantly been trying to avoid. But it's a hard question that we need to ask ourselves. When we ask ourselves some of these questions, we prefer solution. I always tell people that the problem of Nigeria is not actually the laws. We have more laws than we need. You'll be surprised that there are laws regarding animals, regarding even insects in Nigeria. If it is laws, our legal system is ironclad. It is well, it protects virtually every sector and everything regarding Nigeria. So all we need to do is to just have a working system. We just need to have that patriotism within ourselves and tell ourselves that we really want to make this country work. And the moment we circumcise our hearts and then take that very particular oath, things will start moving on in Nigeria. I mean, we are not the ones to go through the worst. We've seen the Rwandan genocide, and out of the ashes, Rwanda has built something that Africa is actually envying the direction that Rwanda is taking. We also have scenarios like the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki bombing and the rest. Japan is right now one of the world powers to reckon with. So Nigeria is not the worst case scenario. So it just has to do with a result of poor mindset and a result of I don't care attitude. So the moment we sit down together, put our hands together, and we form a common front, and we are willing to fight this menace that is actually causing the problem that we are having as a country, don't trust me, all these problems that we're having will just be history. Yes, so that's my take on that.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's a very fantastic one, and I think I totally align with my brother on that, and I would like to lend my voice to that at the same time. And in lending my voice, I will view it from two angles: the government side and the people. There can never be government without the people.
Yes.
And the people are the government because they determine who becomes the government.
Yeah.
And as such, we cannot underestimate the power of the people. Power to the people. Because the truth is that the people holds the power. And the sovereignty we are talking about, by virtue of our constitution, sovereignty lies with who? With the people. So the roots of the nation is the people. We, as Nigerians, have the sovereignty. And at this juncture, that sovereignty we have is being threatened. That means our existential is being threatened. That's the meaning. If you see it from that angle, then we know that it is you and I that are being threatened. Our existence is what is being threatened. So it is a wake-up call. Very well, everyone has a role to play.
Of course.
And I will start from the citizen. Yes, as a Nigerian, we have a duty, we have a responsibility. And our responsibility to our nation is being a responsible citizen. Being a responsible citizen in the sense that you do things as it ought to be done. You do your normal legal thing. Leave your house, do your normal legal business. Don't engage in illegal activities. It is key. All those little things goes a long way to formulate what becomes societal orientation. Imagine, let's set an example. We have 10 persons, we put them together, and out of that 10 persons, 6 persons, they go in their normal way of life, they do the right thing. The majority. 2 does illegal things because we cannot do away with it. Either we like it or not, there will still be one way or the other. And 2 other persons engage in other activities that are anathema to the orientation of the society. Majority are still in the lead. So we can say such a society is still sane. But in the case of Nigeria, the reverse is the case. The reverse is the case, sincerely speaking.
Wow.
So Nigerians need to sit up. We need to check ourselves.
And our mindset.
Our mindset, that's the most important thing. We need to say, we want to make it work. We want to make it. It is our fatherland.
We need to leave
One
all these
truth is this.
ethnics.
Go to America, go to anywhere you want to go to. You are a second citizen.
Yes,
A
that's
home
true.
will always be a home. And the truth is, if those countries you are going to had not stood up to make their country better, you have nowhere to
You
go
have
to.
nowhere to run to. No, that's fine.
So if they're not taking their own time to build what you are saying, they have facilities, they have social amenities, they have this, they have that. Some people had sacrificed for it. Some people had I'd give up some things for it. They give up their enjoyment. They give up their time. Even their right to ensure those things are in place. So what effort are you putting in place in Nigeria to ensure that we also get there? You should ask yourself as a citizen, what can I do? What can I offer? How can I make it better? It's not until you start the foundation. It's not until you start making noise in your day-to-day, even in your family. Just take the married one, check how you are managing your family. The society starts from the unit of a family.
Yes.
How are you training your children? What orientation are you giving to them? How are you doing with your work people? How do you relate with them? Do you really care about them? Look at your area, your community. The next 2-3 houses to you. What's your relationship with them? Have you ever cared about how they even feed? Have you ever even asked, how do you do that? So those little things goes a long way to form the communal orientation. So it's not until a big and become chairman. A chairman doesn't start one day. Go and check. A chairman that gets there today that is not doing anything, go and check, even in his family. Go and check his immediate labor. Where he left.
Obvious.
So it's a gradual process. So we need to check ourselves individually. We need to. So more importantly in this regard, because it has to do with a threat to our actual existence, it is high time Nigerians speaks with one voice.
Yes.
Forget about it. If they come, you might be thinking, yes, they will deal with Tinubu, they will deal with us. Those guys, most of them has alternatives. That's the truth. Why is that? What? Most of them have private jets. They have friends in America, UK. They can easily fly anytime. But you and I, that will take us 2-3 years before we even gather flight money. It will take us maybe 2-3 years before we even process visa it work. After disappointment upon disappointment,
and all that.
where are you going? We might not understand the importance of the little piece that you sit at your house. Nobody is saying, come out. Hey. We cannot overemphasize the importance of peace. War is never an option. It's not an option. Because it might come as a threat that they want to come and help. What becomes the end product, nobody knows.
Exactly.
You want us to do something? Please go ahead.
It's truly laughable. You go online and then see people creating content and saying that
Trump come.
And that. People don't understand what they stand to lose as a country the moment this invasion actually happens. And then the resultant effect of how this entire thing will play out is not far-fetched. Look at all the countries within the world that the United States has touched.
As a practical example.
How is their economy and how is their country right now? It's currently in shambles. So the resultant effect of whatever is going to happen to Nigeria is just clearly looking at the classical example of what has happened to some of these countries, Libya, Sudan, and the rest. You can see that their economy is in shambles. The country is purely factionalized. Even, I think, like my learned brother said recently before we started shooting this video, he made mention of the fact that one of the greatest regrets that
Barack Obama
expressed was the invasion of Libya that he did. Because if you look at the current situation of Libya right now, Libya is in shambles. Libya is currently factionalized. Libya, the economy is not working. The people in Libya are not secured, simply because of the effect of the invasion of the United States, all in the name that Gaddafi is not democratic, all in the name that the United States wants to help the people of Libya. How is that help turning out for Libya now? So I asked Nigerians, is this what you actually want to happen to your country?
Yes. Our leaders are not perfect.
Of course.
There's no dispute about that. They have a lot of errors, but nevertheless, we still enjoy peace. Let's see how we can challenge them legally by ensuring they are responsible. How we can make them accountable. That's what we should look at.
Accountability.
Not by calling other external bodies to invade us.
No.
Not by seeking assistance from external bodies. That will never help us. That will never help us. And that's never a solution to our problem. We must reason from that angle. Yes, we all agree there are millions of faults in our practices, ranging from the federal, state, local, even at our grassroots level. There are issues. How do we make them accountable. That is what we should think of. That is what we should plan. That's what we should all look at, how we can get that achieved. Not calling on external bodies to invade us. And to other Nigerians that are seeing this as an opportunity to explore, probably economically, probably diplomatically, or whatever benefit you think you will be gaining by enticing external body to invade us, please think of your generations to come. There's more to it. It's not just about now. Think of generations to come. What will they say about you? Check your conscience. Nigeria is a great nation with great potentials. We need to drive home these potentials to get it stabilized. And that is what we all need to co-join, do together, putting our hands together, doing the needful, putting our leaders on their toes and ensuring that they are accountable. Accountability, it is very key. That's what we should agitate for.
Yes.
Not calling on external invaders. And to my learned Nigerians, because we may agree to an extent with the unlearned ones when they are saying this, maybe they don't know the implication.
They don't understand the implication.
So for the learned ones that went to school and you are going to write US, US as well. What's US business with us? US is a country on its own. We are a country. They have a right, we have a right. We're a sovereign nation. It doesn't make any sense for Nigerians going crying. US, come Trump, please come and help. For what?
It shows we cannot manage our affairs.
We need to. It doesn't show that we are mature enough when we are doing that. For educated person doing such, it is uncalled for. And for the uneducated ones, let's enlighten them. Let's call their attention to it. The implication of what we are doing. It's not minute. It goes to the root of our existence. Sovereignty in our constitutions, the people are the sovereignty, and it's that sovereignty they are threatening. So they are threatening behind you. Either we like it or not. Implication. So we should tread with care, and we should be careful in our relationship, in our utterances, in our writings, in our acts that we do not even know, or we do not even see the consequences like that. Please, there's a lot that is hidden behind the said invasion of America to Nigeria as a nation.
Wow, highly engaging. So finally, if you could each have one message for Nigerians listening right now about sovereignty, national image, and global perspection, what would it be?
Well, for me, it's simple. Let's rise up and build our nation together. Nobody's coming to save us.
Yes. Right, let's rise up and build our nation together. Nobody's coming to save us.
What a very interesting and short, witty note. Let's rise up and build our nations together. Nobody is coming to help us. That is true. Nobody. Whoever is coming must be coming for an interest. Which is detrimental to us. Well, I think I also have a message for the government.
Okay.
And my message to the government is that we need to also orientate our people. We need to sensitize our people. We need to carry our people along about some dangers of some of our activities. People, sincerely speaking, do not really know what is happening, why it's happening, the likely implication of the happenings. So sensitization would go a long way. To Nigerians, let's sensitize our brothers and sisters about the implication of the invasion. And to the government, let's do whatever efforts we can to sensitize the people about the implication. And more importantly, the government should be up to task.
Act right.
Should take the necessary step. Because we cannot keep complaining, and keep complaining. Because if the government were to do things in the right way, all this collaboration wouldn't have been needed at the first instance. So please, we call on Nigerians. And to me, I think our old national anthem speaks it all. Arise, O co-patriots. Let's rise together and build our nations together. Nobody is coming to help us to do it. Together, we can actually achieve a greater Nigeria. Thank you very much for the
Wow,
opportunity.
thank you so much, Barrister Lekan and Barrister Hananiya. Today's discussion has really been enlightening and balanced. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity to hear our views on this issue.
All right.
I think it has been very educating, enlightening, and interesting.
Yes.
So, you know, sharing ideas like this goes a long way to form an opinion, and it goes a long way to also contribute our own quota to the national development.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, you're welcome. So today's discussion reminds us that sovereignty is not just about borders. It's about dignity, independence, and the collective responsibility we share as citizens to uphold our nation's image before the world. While political statements may come and go, the rule of international law remains constant. No country, leader, or individual has a right to threaten the peace and sovereignty of another. To our listeners, remember, Bar Unleashed is here to educate, empower, and inspire civic consciousness. The more we understand the law, the stronger we become as a people. Once again, I am Orishanike Arogundade, your host on Bar Unleashed. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered. Orishanike, signing out.